As a first-time seller, the very first step you need to take is letting go of the emotional connection to your property. It's no longer a home, it's now an asset, and it's going to help your family reach whatever goal comes next. In this video, I'm going to break down a proven pricing system for how to price in today's shifting market. When you sell your property, you're entering a beauty contest and a pricing war. I'm going to share insider secrets of how you can win both and sell for the most money possible. So, before we jump in, if you're curious about proven systems to help you win as a seller in today's market, smash that subscribe button. And if you find anything in today's video helpful, do me a favor and hit the like button and share with a friend who's also selling their property. The first pricing strategy is to overprice. So, this is a no-no, and sellers who overprice do so because they want to leave room for negotiations. It's a natural reaction to selling your property. So, let's say your property is worth $1 million. A seller may price for $1.2 million to, leave room for negotiations. So today's buyers shop from their couch. They're scrolling very quickly through homes and eliminating before they ever take a foot inside of homes. What this means for an overpriced seller is that your home gets eliminated and it just lost that price war. Interest rates are averaging 6.5% to 7%, and that makes buyers pickier than they've ever been because they're spending more money due to those higher rates, and they're also getting less home for that money due to the rising home prices. So the second strategy is to underprice. And sellers who underprice do it because they hope to create so much activity that buyers will drive up the price. So there is a way to successfully do that, but this strategy can very quickly backfire. This creates a buyer expectation of a price when they submit an offer. The seller can get offended because they were hoping for a higher amount, and no one wins in that scenario. I've seen situations where a home was priced at $900,000. My buyer submitted an offer for that amount, and the seller countered at $1.1 million. And I asked the agent, I'm like, hey, like, can you give some insight into where the seller's head is? And she told me that the seller hoped to get that in the end and wanted to price it below in hopes that buyers would drive up the price. Well, in that situation, the seller really should have priced it at or close to $1.1 million because my buyer was no longer interested in negotiating. They were never shopping in the 1.1 million price range, and that's why they were shopping at 900,000. So they walked away and found a house that was actually for sale and ready to go at $900,000. This strategy also runs the risk of not getting any offers, or what if you only get one offer and it's for the underpriced amount? The last pricing strategy and the one that creates successful sellers is to price just slightly below market value. And I must admit, this is the most counterintuitive strategy. So let's go back to that house priced at $1 million. In this case, they would price it around $950,000. And the key ingredient to this strategy is that the property must be impeccably presented to the market. That means a fresh coat of paint, it has to have beautiful curb appeal and staging, and be completely updated to market standards. So you'll want to work with a local real estate expert to help guide you on what that means for your specific property because presentation can look very different for each city and even within the same neighborhood can vary greatly. I do got my clients through presentation strategies during our discovery meeting, but if you're not in Atlanta, Georgia, don't worry. You can still reach out and I'll connect you with someone in your area who works exactly like I do. When that strategy is executed correctly, it creates what I like to call an auction effect or a bidding war. So instead of buyers being turned off by the price, their curiosity gets piqued and they wonder, how is a home in such great condition offered for such a low price? As a seller, you don't want to be chasing the market. You want to lead the market. We're not in that crazy market anymore where buyers are in a position to do crazy things like waive appraisal and inspection contingencies, or offer significantly above the list price. And buyers aren't even in a big rush anymore because there's so much inventory available on the market. So, as a seller, that means that if a buyer doesn't get what they want from your property, they have other options. More inventory also means that buyers just aren't in as big of a rush. They feel comfortable to go home and sleep on it overnight before they make a decision. It's not the market of 2021, 2022 anymore. My successful sellers are flexible. They're flexible on their closing date, the repairs, contingencies, and other things. We're in more of a balanced market, and so that means it's more of a give and take, and both parties have to feel like they're winning in order for the deal to close. Now, as a seller, that doesn't mean you need to give away the farm. This is where you'll really want to lean in on your trusted real estate advisor for guidance, and they should be giving you regular updates and feedback. Even if that feedback is not what you want to hear, it's very important for them to share what other buyers are saying when they come to tour your home. And if there are things you can change, such as the condition, then be flexible and open minded to making those adjustments. Sometimes the feedback is on location or neighborhood, and those are things you just can't change. And that's when you might want to consider a more aggressive price to help a buyer overcome their concern. Your goal as a seller is to get your property sold as quickly as possible. Days on market is the enemy of price. And when a buyer sees a home sitting on the market, they think something is wrong with it. They think it's overpriced, or they might think both. So just because your property is for sale for a few weeks or even a few months, that's not necessarily a bad thing. This is where you'll really want a strong agent who can analyze the data to help you decide if your days on market are normal for your specific neighborhood, or if you're sitting on the market a little longer than what other buyers are, other sellers are sitting on the market for in your area. So, selling is a really emotional process, especially when you do it for the first time. It's where you raise your family, and you can look in almost every room and there will be memories attached, and just so much laughter and sadness and happy moments, joyful moments. A lot of people bring home their first child into their home, or they might have family come visit. It's just so many great memories attached. And in a lot of cases, you'll use the money that you get from selling to purchase your next property. So, with the right agent, they're going to do everything in their power to help you maximize the value, because sometimes sellers can use those memories to cloud their judgment of what the price should be. And no matter how much the seller thinks it should be priced for, or even how much an agent thinks it should be priced for, the only opinion that matters when it comes to price is the buyers, because they're the ones who have to pay the price. So there are agents out there who are willing to take a listing at any price, and then they'll just ask you to reduce, 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 and chase the market. Those sellers almost always end up selling for less money than they would have if they strategically priced from the beginning. Working with the right agent, they will suggest that you use a pricing strategy that is backed by market research, and they'll utilize the showing activity to help you make a smart decision, because at the end of the day, you're in the driver's seat of who gets to decide the price. So sometimes that decision could mean not selling and just staying put. Or you might decide to do a price adjustment, which will bring more buyers. Anytime you can create more action and demand around your property, it's going to drive offers. Selling in today's market is going to take a lot of resilience and a lot of patience. Sometimes you'll get an offer that's a little offensive, or you'll get feedback that confuses you. And if you're serious about selling in this market, you have to align your expectations with today's buyer behavior. This market is not broken, it's just more traditional. We've been in such a seller's market for so long. It's like being on an interstate going 90 miles an hour and then slowing down to 70 miles an hour. You're still going really fast. It just feels like you're going slow, because you're not going as fast as the market was before. There are still sellers closing every day, and if you're ready to adapt, you can absolutely be in that number. So, if you're ready to sell, remember to choose a strategy that helps you win that beauty contest and pricing war and stay flexible throughout the process. If today's video brought you any clarity, do me a favor and hit that like button. I share tips on how to be successful in today's market. So if you find this kind of information helpful, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. If you're not quite sure where to start, click the link below and I'll guide you every step of the way. I'm D'Angela Hudson, a local real estate broker helping you sell for more money with the most ease possible.